My name is John White Solano Halop, Case 1B. Differentiating atoms, molecules, ions, and their examples. Atoms are the smallest unit of matter that can be broken down chemically. Molecules are groups of two or more atoms that are chemically bonded. Ions are atoms or molecules that have gained or lost one or more of their valence electrons and therefore have a net positive or negative charge. An atom can be an ion, but not all ions are atoms. An atom is a particle of matter that uniquely defines a chemical element. An atom consists of a central nucleus that is surrounded by one or more negatively charged electrons. The nucleus is positively charged and contains one or more relatively heavy particles known as protons and neutrons. Atoms consist of three fundamental types of particles: protons, electrons, and neutrons. Neutrons and protons have approximately the same mass, and in contrast to this, the mass of an electron is negligible. A proton carries a positive charge, a neutron has no charge, and electron is negatively charged. What is atom example? The defining particle that identifies an atom is the number of protons it contains. So, a particle that lacks protons is not atoms. However, if one lone proton is an atom of hydrogen. Example atoms include single particles of the elements of the periodic table such as sodium, uranium, argon, and chlorine. A molecule is two or more atoms connected by chemical bonds, which for the smallest unit of substance that retains the composition and properties of that substance. Molecules form the basis of chemistry. Molecules are noted with the element symbol and subscript with the number of atoms. An atom and molecule. An ion is defined as an atom or molecule that has gained or lost one or more of valence electrons, giving it net positive or negative electrical charge. In other words, there is imbalance in the number of protons possibly charged electrical charge in a chemical species. History, meaning the term ion was introduced by English chemist and physicist Michael Faraday in 1834 to describe the chemical species that travels from one electrode to another aqueous solution. The word ions comes from the Greek word ion and orlenai, inai, which means to go. Although Faraday could not identify the particles moving between electrodes, he knew that metals dissolved into a solution at one electrode and that another metal was deposited from the solution at the other electrode. So matter had to be moving under the influence of an electron current. Examples of ions are alpha particle He2 plus, hydroxide OH. Quotients are anions. Ions can be grouped into two broad categories: quotients and anions. Captions are ions in the carry net positive charge because the number of protons in the species is greater than the number of electrons. That formula for quotient is indicated by a subscript following the formula that indicates the number of the charge of an E plus sign and E number of present precedes the plus sign. If only a plus is present, it means the charge is plus 1. For example, Ca2 plus indicates a quotient with a plus 2 charge. Anions are ions that carry a negative charge. In anions, there are more electrons than protons. The number of neutrons is not a factor. It is within an atom fractional group or molecule is an anion like cushion. Cushions, the charge on anions is indicated using superscript. Molecule is an anion after the chemical formula. For example, Ci is the symbol for the chlorine anion which carries a single negative charge. 1. If a number is used to subscript, it precedes the minus sign. For example, the sulfate anions is written as so 42.